Toronto police claim that the man who set fire to the Jewish school was just a homeless man sleeping in a shed out back, and it wasn't an anti-Semitic hate crime. But a neighbor gave us surveillance footage showing something very different. It shows a man arriving at the school at 3:05 a.m. and carefully checking to see if he was being followed. Then he walks briskly to the school, carrying bags of supplies. Minutes later, the school is on fire. According to the neighbor, that was the first time the man had been there. He had never slept in the shed, not on that night or any other. Ezra Levant here. I am back at the Leo Baeck Day School several hours after I broke the news that the school had its windows smashed and was torched in an obvious anti-Semitic hate crime incident one day after Jewish school buses several miles away for another Jewish school were torched. The commonality between these two incidents is that the media has tried to bury them and police have said next to nothing. Yesterday, both CTV and City News said that the school bus caught fire at 5 a.m., as you know, parked school buses do. Of course, that's not true. I went there and I bumped into the owner of the school bus, who said it was obviously arson. A bizarre report by CTV said that the bus had been parked there for 15 years. The owner of the school bus told us it was used every school day. Just a weird cover-up. And then this morning I come to this school, and let me just show you a little bit of what I filmed when I was first on the scene, really. Arson. The window smashed. You can see the charred remains behind me. That's plate glass window, absolutely shattered. There's a bit of a cleanup crew here. There's a private security guard down there, but no one else is here. Police aren't here. They're busy doing something more important. This is a prominent and large Jewish day school for young kids. Had it been during the school year, God forbid, kids would have been hurt by the attack, and they would certainly be startled and stunned to come to school. I wasn't the first human on the scene. There was some cleanup crews, and the CEO of the school was sitting by dejectedly. And I walked right up to the smashed window, and I did my report, and I left, and the video went viral. But then I saw the most bizarre tweet by the Toronto police, and let me read it to you now. We understand there is concern about a fire that occurred last night at Leo Baeck Day School. At 3:46 a.m., police responded to a call reporting a fire in an exterior storage shed being used by an underhoused individual for shelter. Toronto Fire Services extinguished the fire. The cause of the fire is undetermined, with no suspicious circumstances. It just caught fire, guys. You know, spontaneous conflagrations. It just happens all the time. The hate crime unit has been consulted, and there is no evidence that this incident was motivated by hate. The investigation is ongoing. Well, hang on. So the investigation is ongoing, or there's no evidence. You can't really say both. So you say there was no hate crime, but then you say the hate crimes was investigating. Then you say they found no evidence, but you say they're still investigating. What a bizarre cover-up. And even weirder was how quickly the Liberal MP, who has on so many occasions let down her own community by selling them out to, well, basically Justin Trudeau's agenda. Look at this bizarre tweet by Yara Sachs. A devastating news cycle of arson and vandalism. Incidents at Jewish schools, property and neighborhoods, including now at Leo Baeck Day School, reminds us that the community is not and does not feel safe in the face of rising anti-Semitism. Thank you, Toronto Police, for your continued work. Hang on. Which is it? Is it anti-Semitism or not? Was it a hate crime or arson or not? You guys have to get your alibis straight. You guys should confer with each other before lying to the public. So I saw this bizarre cover-up. I saw police announcing it's not anti-Semitism before their investigation is finished. And I came back because I know a few things, because I know this school fairly well. I know, for example, that it has fairly high security. And I know it's absolutely absurd to say that a homeless person, they won't even use that word, accidentally set the place on fire, which included smashing very high-strength plexiglass windows. It is very hard to break a glass window like that. That's tempered glass. And to smash 3 of them in a row, accidentally a homeless person, it is obviously a fake example, a fake excuse. Now, here's the amazing thing. I came back here right away when I saw the police cover-up, and a man walked forward and said, "Hey, I saw your report this morning." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yes." He said to me, "I think it might have been a homeless person." I said, "Well, why would that be the case? Why would you say that?" He said, "Because I saw him on my house closed-circuit TV, my house security cam." Now, this neighbor didn't want to be on camera or use his name, but he allowed me to chat with him, recording his voice. Here's a little bit of how that conversation went. So I just looked at your home security camera footage, and it shows a guy. Had you seen him before? So now we know a guy did it, but was he homeless or was he an anti-Semitic hate criminal? Have you seen him before?
I know that's the first time 24 hours ago. I just know.
So you had never seen that guy here in weeks or months?
I have not. No.
Okay, so now I'm a little skeptical that he was homeless if he was just there one night only.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The hours he operates are pretty late, and I'm not awake to see him, so I can't comment on that.
Now, it does show a man moving things into position. But is it an anti-Semitic attack or is it a homeless person? This may be the storage shed that they're referring to. In fact, looking at this looks like it could have been a plastic prefab storage shed, the kind of thing that you might find at a Costco or a Walmart. And this wooden pallet may have been the floor of the storage shed. So there may, in fact, have been a storage shed here. It certainly wouldn't have been that door. I know from experience that door is well secured and it goes downstairs into the school. So this may be the remains of the storage shed. But what does a fire in a storage shed, which is a plausible explanation, have to do with then standing up and smashing a series of plate glass windows? And how can the police be so quick to rule things out? To say it was not a hate incident, but all at the same time say they're still investigating. Well, which is it? You've ruled it out, but you're not done your investigation? And if it was an underhoused man who obviously committed arson and other offenses to property, why has he not been arrested as far as we know? Why has he not been charged as far as we know? What was his name? Did he really just come this one day? Because remember, we spoke to the neighbor who said he had never seen this person before. And he was bringing bags of stuff. So we've seen the closed-circuit TV from the neighbor's place. But look, 1, 2, 3, at least 3 surveillance cameras at the school itself would have been on this shed, if indeed this was a shed. I think it behooves the Toronto Police and this school to release that footage. Was this just a random act by a hobo, or was this an anti-Semitic attack? We've seen the neighbor's footage. I want to see what's in those cameras. And if the Toronto Police is ruling out a hate incident before they've even finished their investigation, it shows the whole thing is a cover-up. I don't doubt that this could have been a shed. And I don't doubt it was set on fire. And I don't doubt it was set on fire by a man last night caught on tape by the neighbor. The question is, was he indeed a random homeless person lighting it on fire, or was he an anti-Semitic hate criminal? Because he didn't just light it on fire. He smashed all those windows. Where is he? Did police arrest him? What's his name? Has he been charged with crimes before? Why do we not know that information? I don't trust the Toronto Police. Do you? I think that the police are covering up. I think Ya'ara Sachs, who was instant to reply to the police, wants this to go away. Canada is in the middle of an anti-Semitic crime wave. They're hitting Jewish schools every week, Jewish synagogues every week, so often that they no longer make news. But it's not because they're not newsworthy. It's because the mainstream media, the police, and the politicians would rather have this inconvenient story go away. The Toronto Police are a disgrace for declaring this a non-incident while it's still being investigated. And Ya'ara Sachs is a double disgrace after her betrayal of the Jewish community to approve of the Toronto Police whitewashing this incident. This was an attack on a Jewish school. I do not believe that there was no anti-Semitic hate involved. I do not believe that a random homeless person attacked and smashed a high-security Jewish school. I just don't believe it. For Rebel News, I'm Ezra Levant.